Hey, Caitlin! Can you make it from there?
Before you scroll away, I need you to think about something. What is the most valuable asset a brand can own? Is a factory? A secret technology? A viral meme? I'll tell you what it is. It's a story. A true, undeniable, bulletproof narrative that everyone believes. And right now, one of the biggest brands on earth just spent millions to buy a piece of one. But they didn't just buy it. They quietly hijacked an entire athlete's life story, repackaged it as their own new philosophy, in the process, revealed a billion-dollar roadmap for future sports.
Hey, Caitlin, how about from here?
Come on, guys.
Yeah, she can't make it from there.
No chance.
Caitlin, from me, don't let. You got it.
I'm not even gonna ask.
This is about the Christmas Day surprise that wasn't what it seemed. This is about how a single commercial for a shoe that doesn't even exist, yet is designed to change an entire industry forever. And if you think this is just about basketball, you're missing the point entirely. This is about the moment a corporation decides to bet everything on a single person's truth. If you're ready for that deep dive, hit subscribe. We uncover the real stories behind the biggest moves in business and culture. So, on Christmas morning 2025, as millions were focused on football, Nike dropped a commercial. It featured their newest star, Caitlin Clark. You've probably seen it by now. It's simple. Clever. A montage of people, from kids in a gym to global celebrities like the Kelsey brothers, comedian Michael Che, and rapper Travis Scott, all asking Clark the same question. Can you make it from here?
Hey, Caitlin, from here might be impressive. Am I right?
Whatever, Che.
From right here.
From there!
From anywhere.
All right, well, looks like she can do it.
They point to spots farther and farther from a basket. The doubt is playful. The assumption is clear. That's too far. You can't do that. Clark doesn't argue. She just shoots and makes it every single time. The tagline, from anywhere. But to understand why this seemingly straightforward ad is a seismic event, you have to look at the deliberate chaos of its release date. Christmas Day, a time when the American sports audience is monolithic, trained for years to watch the NBA or the NFL. By placing a women's basketball star in that coveted high-attention slot, Nike wasn't just running an ad. They were staging a quiet coup. They were asserting that Clark's story belongs in that same tier of national holiday tradition.
Trying to redirect a pass. Clark. Oh, my! Clark, can she answer? Of course. You better be careful. There might be another one coming right here.
Ducharme has good size.
Clark steps into a deep three.
A long three by Clark.
And the celebrity choices were meticulously calculated. The Kelsey brothers, icons of football machismo. Travis Scott, a titan of hip-hop and sneaker culture. Michael Che, a sharp cultural commentator. Each represents a different, often skeptical, segment of the mainstream sports audience. Their presence in the ad acts as a translator, vouching for Clark's relevance to their own massive fan bases. This wasn't a basketball commercial for basketball fans. This was a cultural infiltration mission disguised as a spot about shooting threes. The genius is in the ask, can you make it from here? It's the exact question that has defined every stage of Clark's career, from an Iowa driveway to the professional level.
And pour more concrete so I could have an entire three-point line in my driveway.
Did that really happen? You extended your range by dumping more concrete?
Yeah, because it was like kind of slanted. Our driveway was like slanted, so I only had a three-point line on one side of the driveway. So I told my dad he had to tear up all this grass, and he did.
Nike didn't have to write a script. They just amplified the soundtrack of her life. Most people watched that and saw a highlight reel, a celebration of Caitlin Clark's insane logo-range three-pointers. And on the surface, that's exactly what it is. But that's the genius of it, because Nike isn't just documenting her range. They are strategically rebranding her entire struggle into their next corporate slogan. From anywhere isn't a description of a shot. It's being framed as the new Nike ethos, borrowed directly from Clark's biography. Think about that. This commercial is the origin story for a product line, the narrative foundation for a signature shoe that won't hit stores until spring of 2026. They are building the myth 2 years in advance. But why? Why such a long, patient, expensive rollout for a sneaker? This pre-launch narrative construction is a page taken from the playbooks of legends like Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
I was taught from a very young age to just block out the noise and always dream big and believe that I can do anything I want to do. My name's Caitlin Clark, and I'm a point guard. What's amazing about women's basketball is that we bring it all to the court. We bring that emotion, we bring that fire. That's how I've always played the game, and I think that's what makes it so fun.
Nike isn't selling you a shoe yet. They are selling you the reason the shoe will matter. They are ensuring that by spring 2026, From Anywhere isn't an ad copy. It's accepted lexicon. It's the answer to every defensive scheme, the explanation for every record-breaking rating, the mantra for every kid in a driveway. They are psychologically priming the market so that the product feels inevitable, like the final piece of story you're already invested in. This long game protects their investment. A rushed shoe after a college peak could have been a fad. This methodical build aims to cement Clark as an institution.
Coming into the game. Logo! Clark with the deep three. Three you've been waiting for. Clark, nice feed. Wallace with the layup. And Caitlin Clark catalyzing a comeback here. Bonner gets denied by Boston. Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
Look at Wheeler staring to the right side, knows who's there, drop pass behind. Could be the deepest shot we've seen Caitlin Clark make as a pro. Big one.
And this building is right.
The commercial functions as chapter 1 of a textbook on brand architecture. Every time she hits a deep three in a game now, she's not just scoring points. She's reinforcing a billion-dollar branding campaign. The shot becomes a proof of concept for the slogan, and the future shoe becomes a tangible artifact of the belief system. The answer is because this isn't really about a sneaker. This is a corporate hostage situation for a $2.5 billion market. Let me explain. The women's sports apparel market is exploding. It's projected to be a $2.5 billion opportunity by 2030. And for a giant like Nike, which has faced market share erosion to brands like Lululemon, capturing this wave isn't optional. It's existential. Their entire playbook is now about premium, high-impact partnerships that drive cultural relevance. And in Caitlin Clark, they didn't just sign an athlete. They identified a human vortex of economic energy. The numbers are stupid. Since she entered the WNBA, league viewership is up 31% year over year. Game attendance surged 48%. Most stunningly, WNBA merchandise sales spiked by 500%, with Clark's gear leading the charge. One report estimated her rookie season generated tens of millions in direct economic impact. She doesn't just move the needle, she is the needle. But the Clark effect is more nuanced than just sales spikes. It's about behavioral economics. She has fundamentally altered the value proposition of women's basketball for every stakeholder. For networks, her games are now must-buy advertising inventory. For arenas, her visits are guaranteed sellouts that boost local economies. For sponsors, association with her is a shortcut to positive brand sentiment and engagement with a younger, passionate demographic. Nike's move is to directly tether their corporate fate to this economic gravity well. They saw rivals like New Balance making huge gains with track stars and Formula One, while Lululemon built an empire on technical apparel for women. The battlefield shifted. Winning no longer meant just having the best performance fabric. It meant owning the most compelling stories in women's sport. By taking Clark's narrative hostage, by making From Anywhere a Nike-owned phrase, they're attempting to claim ownership of the entire cultural momentum she represents. It's a vertical integration of influence. And Nike, seeing this raw, undeniable force, made their move. They signed Clark to a massive 8-year endorsement deal worth a reported $28 million. Then in August 2025, they unveiled her signature logo, 2 interlocking C's, which she wears in that Christmas commercial. But they held back the main event, the shoe itself, slated for spring 2026. This timing is not random. It is military-grade precise. By 2026, several stars align. First, Caitlin Clark will be fully healthy. Her second WNBA season was brutally hampered by a series of injuries, a left quad strain, groin issues, an ankle problem. But by December 2025, she was back at 100%, practicing with the USA basketball team. Nike is waiting for the athlete to be at her physical peak. Second, the WNBA itself will be in a period of massive growth. The league is expanding to 15 teams by 2026 and has secured a new, lucrative $2.2 billion media rights deal. The tide will be rising, and Nike intends for Clark's shoe to launch on the crest of that wave. They are not just launching a product into the market, they are orchestrating the market itself to welcome the product. This precision timing also accounts for her career narrative arc. Spring 2026 will likely follow what the sports world hopes is her first fully healthy, dominant WNBA season. It will follow a potential Olympic debut in Paris 2024, where her profile goes global. The launch will come as she enters her prime, with the scars of her rookie hazing and injury-plagued sophomore year fully healed, transformed into part of her legend. Furthermore, the new WNBA media deal means more games on major networks, more highlight packages, and more narrative control for the league, all creating a perfect, amplified echo chamber for the shoe's launch campaign. Nike isn't just watching calendar. They are engineering convergence of athletic performance, league infrastructure, and public sentiment, ensuring the shoe drops at the exact moment of maximum cultural resonance and commercial appetite. But the financial projections are where this goes from a big launch to a historic one. Financial analysts have run the numbers on the Caitlin Clark effect, and they project that her signature Nike shoe line alone could generate $150 million in revenue by 2026. Let that sink in. For context, every additional percentage point of market share Nike gains in women's sportswear is estimated to be worth $400 million in annual revenue. Clark's shoe is the spearhead for capturing those points. This isn't just a new sneaker. It's being positioned to become one of the top signature basketball franchises in the world, period. It's a bet that a women's basketball player can drive the same global apparel empire as the biggest names in the NBA. The $150 million figure isn't plucked from thin air. It's modeled on the success of Sabrina Ionescu's Sabrina 1 with Nike, which saw unprecedented demand and resale value, proving the market existed. Clark's broader crossover appeal suggests a multiplier effect. This revenue won't come just from one performance model. It will come from a full ecosystem, limited edition colorways tied to her milestones, lifestyle version for everyday wear, youth sizing for the millions of young players she inspires, and collaborative apparel lines. The signature shoe is the flagship that makes the entire brand extension possible. Its success validates the investment and opens the floodgates for broader collections. Furthermore, this moves Clark from being a cost center on Nike's endorsement ledger to a potentially massive profit center. Her $28 million deal, seen in this light, isn't an expense. It's an advance on the royalties from a franchise they believe will dwarf that number. This flips the entire athlete endorsement model on its head for women's sports, from paying for affiliation to investing in a joint business venture with world-changing revenue potential. And this gets us to the most shocking layer of this whole plan, the subtle, almost hidden ambition in that from anywhere commercial. Caitlin Clark will become just the third active WNBA player to have a signature shoe with Nike, joining legends Aya Wilson and Sabrina Ionescu. But Nike isn't just giving her a shoe. They are building a legacy brand around her narrative. Listen to the language. And Miller, Nike's VP of Global Sports Marketing, didn't just call Clark a great player. She called her an outstanding ambassador for the game, who is helping shape this historic time for women's basketball. Clark herself said her logo is more than just a logo. It's a dream come true, another way I can leave my mark on the game. The subtext is screaming. This isn't about being the best shooter. It's about being the most important catalyst. The shoe, the apparel, the from anywhere mantra, it's all being constructed to inspire the next generation, to build grassroots programs, to expand globally. Nike is betting that Clark's story of overcoming doubt, the very story they dramatize in the ad, is a more powerful sales tool than any spec about foam cushioning or carbon fiber plates. They are selling the origin myth. This transforms a product from a piece of equipment into a symbol of access and possibility. The implicit promise is that buying into this brand is buying into the growth of the game itself. Nike has learned from its own history with Air Jordan that the most powerful sneakers aren't worn just for performance. They are worn as badges of identity and belief. For young girls, lacing up Clark's shoes won't just be about basketball. It will be a tactile connection to the idea that their own perceived limitations, they're too far, can be overcome. This emotional, mission-driven layer insulates the brand from the typical fickleness of sports performance. Even if Clark has an off night, the foundational story of perseverance remains untouchable. It's a brand built not on winning championships, but on championing a mindset. Of course, this high-stakes bet is happening on a fiercely competitive battlefield. Nike's market share in women's sports merchandise actually dipped below 40% recently. Rivals are aggressive. Every other brand sees the same $2.5 billion prize. So, Nike's Clark strategy is a classic flanking maneuver. While others compete on product features, Nike is investing in what it does best: cultural storytelling and deep athlete partnerships. They are leveraging their unparalleled brand strength index, rated at 94.7 out of 100, the highest in apparel, to out-narrative the competition. They are not just selling a shoe to basketball fans. They are selling a parable of perseverance to everyone. Brands like Puma, with their resurgence in basketball, and Under Armour, fighting to stay relevant, are chasing hard. They might offer comparable technology or better financial terms, but Nike's counter is its historical legacy and its platform. They can offer Clark something beyond money: immortality, a permanent place in the swoosh pantheon alongside Jordan, LeBron, and Serena. This is a defensive play as much as an offensive one. By locking Clark into an 8-year narrative arc, they are effectively taking her off the board for any competitor for nearly a decade during what will be her most iconic years. They are also creating a moat around the women's basketball category. A successful Clark franchise sets a new commercial benchmark, making it harder for rivals to sign the next generational talent without promising a similar legacy-building machine. The battle isn't for shelf space in 2026. It's for the narrative ownership of women's sports history for the next 20 years. Nike is playing a game of cultural chess, and the Clark shoe is the move meant to checkmate the entire field. Which brings us to the final, undeniable conclusion. The year 2026 is not just a release date, it's a referendum. When Caitlin Clark's signature shoe finally hits shelves in spring 2026, it will be the single most important product launch in the history of women's team sports. Its success or failure will answer the multi-billion-dollar question the entire industry is asking. Can a women's basketball player truly anchor a global, enduring apparel franchise that rivals the giant of the men's game? Nike has deployed its full arsenal: a patient multi-year narrative build, a perfect macroeconomic launch window, and the undeniable force of Caitlin Clark's talent and story. To ensure the answer is a resounding yes. They are not just betting on a player having a good season. They are betting that her life story, repackaged as a 2-word slogan, can become the foundation of their next empire. The referendum extends beyond Nike. It's a test for consumers, for media, and for the culture at large. Strong sales will be interpreted as a definitive statement that the audience for women's sports is not just engaged, but commercially voracious and loyal, that they will invest in the paraphernalia of fandom at the same level as male sports fans. It will trigger a cascade of investment across leagues, media rights, and athlete marketing. A stumble, however unlikely it seems now, will be weaponized by skeptics to argue that the moment for women's sports was just a passing trend. The pressure is immense, but it's precisely why Nike's campaign is so meticulous. They're leaving nothing to chance, building a launch so supported by pre-sold narrative that success feels foretold. They are not just asking for a purchase. They are inviting the public to validate a historical shift they've already spent 2 years directing. So what do you think? Is Nike's From Anywhere campaign a masterstroke of long-term brand building, or is it a risky overinvestment in a single athlete's moment? Can a signature shoe really change the trajectory of an entire sport? Let's talk about it in the comments below. If you found this breakdown of the hidden business behind the highlights fascinating, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe for more deep dives into the strategies shaping the world you see every day. Thanks for watching. But before you go, consider this final twist. The most revolutionary outcome of this entire plan may have nothing to do with money. If this blueprint works, if narrative building plus athlete trust plus long-term vision equals a commercial empire. It will permanently alter how all brands value women athletes. No longer will they be seen as sponsorship opportunities for niche markets. They will be seen as foundational partners for global business units. This could accelerate pay equity, ownership stakes, and creative control in ways we can't yet fully imagine. The true legacy of the From Anywhere campaign might one day be measured not in revenue, but in the number of young girls who never have to ask for more concrete in their driveway because the path to building their own empire has already been poured. The comment section is open. Do you believe in the bet? Is Clark the athlete to redefine the game off the court as well? And what other sports narratives are ripe for this kind of corporate storytelling? Share your thoughts. And let's keep this conversation going. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the unseen strategies shaping your world.